Well, the Buckeye football season's upon us. We're going to break things down with our guys, Dave Holmes and Adam King, 10 TV, along with former Buckeye defensive back Tyvis Powell, 97.1 The Fan. You hear him on the radio, along with Tim May, 97.1 The Fan, Letta Monroe. On offense, guys, the Buckeyes look to be loaded with talent. Tim May, Marvin Harrison Jr., is he the best receiver in college football this year?
Yeah, and he was last year, so that's an easy answer.
Heisman hunt for him?
Definitely he's in the Heisman hunt. I mean, he claims he's not really paying attention to all that, but other people will be paying attention to that for him. But this guy can do it all, as he's proven. Can break it deep, can out-jump a guy, can out-position a guy, and really, the bottom line is he always makes the catch. So, yeah.
You know, Tyvis, last year was his coming out party. He was amazing. We got a glimpse of him, though, the season before at the end of the Rose Bowl. So some might say he snuck up on some people. He's not sneaking up on anyone this year. Heck, he's on potato chips now. He is a household name. With that said, how do teams cover him this year?
Well, it'll be a lot of double teams and a lot of cover two to his side. When you got a receiver like Marvin Harrison Jr., you have to bracket him. You have to have a game plan. But the problem with doing that, Ohio State is so talented that if you spend all of your energy and time on trying to stop Marvin Harrison, Emeka Egbuka's over there, Julian Fleming's over there, Cade Stover's there. So it's so many guys that you have to worry about that you just have to hope that you got a guy, a dude that wants to make some money and go to the next level and have him go one-on-one with Marvin Harrison and pray that Marvin Harrison is having a bad game.
He made Keely Ringo look funny.
He did.
In the college football playoff semifinal, he made Joey Porter Jr. look funny against Penn State.
One thing Marvin Harrison is going to do for a corner, he either going to make you some money or lose you some money.
And he did that last year.
Well, Dave, following up with what he said, I mean, defenses are going to have to pick their poison, right? Yeah. If you double team him, Emeka's open and whatever, how much of a fit is this giving defensive coordinators around the country that's going to face Ohio State, and what do you think they try to do to keep from getting killed?
Yeah, I mean, it's what Tyvis said is true. They're going to have to give extra attention. To me, Emeka Egbuka is about to have the Jackson Smith and Jigba season of a couple of years ago, because that year was supposed to be Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, and JSN goes out and leads the team in receiving yards. I think no doubt Marvin Harrison Jr. has the most touchdowns. I think Emeka Egbuka might lead the team in yards, because I think he's going to be the guy who gets less attention. He's in the first round, too. I mean, he's in every first round. Yes, every mock has him in the top 10 or 15 of the draft. So, to me, that's the problem. And the guy who really needs to show up is TreVeyon Henderson, because if they're going to really sag off and play everyone back, then you got to be able to run the ball.
Well, that sets up the next thing, Adam. When they're not throwing the ball, they have what many are calling the best running back room in the country. TreVeyon Henderson, Mayan Williams, Dallin Hayden, Chip Trainin, Evan Pryor, and the list goes on. If they keep everyone healthy, now we said that a year ago, and we were down to the last back.
Yeah.
Who carries the rock this year, and how does Tony Alford keep all these guys happy?
So what I think you do is you put Marvin and Emeka and Julian on the bench, and you just put two running backs and then all the rest. Yeah, and just
your wishbone.
There you go.
They should run
That's
the
how you keep them happy.
So they can do it.
Give Tony Alford credit. He wouldn't take credit on his interviews when he said having all of them here. In the day and age of transfer portals, the idea that every one of these guys stuck around, knowing that TreVeyon Henderson is considered to be one of the best backs in the country, that Mayan had dominated, set the record for touchdowns last season. Evan Pryor coming in was supposed to be the dynamic duo with TreVeyon Henderson. We've only gotten to see him in that spring game. This running back room is undoubtedly the best in the country. And you saw the Iron Sharpens Iron Award. Oh, they handed it to Chip Trainin. So when you look at all of this, I don't know how you keep them all happy, but I think the good news is that you got a lot of toys to play with.
And Tim May, the funny thing is, and I was talking to Coach Cooper the other day, and I remember we asked him back when he was coaching, and he had a stable of running backs. He had some great ones, Tyvis, and we said, Coop, how do you keep all those guys happy? And he says, I don't worry about keeping them happy. They got to worry about keeping the old coach happy. I'm the guy that decides who plays. Well, that ship sailed, and today you got to keep them happy.
I asked Tony Alford the other day. I said, do you owe each of these guys some opportunities? And he looked at me cross-eyed, almost funny, because the O word is not what you're looking for. Yeah. You're looking for each of these guys to get better this year than they were last year and to earn those opportunities. But we all know the pecking order starts with TreVeyon Henderson, who appears to be back and wholly whole again athletically after getting surgery on his foot at the end of the year last year, because he's got that wiggle back. And another guy's got that wiggle back is Evan Pryor. So they had big plans for Evan Pryor this time a year ago till he got hurt and missed the whole year. They're going to need them all because, as you saw, they had the same number of guys on the roster this time a year ago. And who was playing?
Xavier Johnson.
Xavier Johnson, Mitch Rossi were the running backs at times on that last drive. I
Unreal.
mean,
It's unreal.
you never know what's going to come down the pike.
The thing about it, keeping them happy, the reason that it works is because all of them bring a different aspect.
Yeah,
Travion
that's true.
Henderson is the speed guy. Mayan is the power back. Evan is the elusive guy. Xavier Johnson is a mismatch lineup if you put him in the backfield against somebody. And Chip Traynham is one of the best returners and one of the fastest guys on the team. So therefore, they all – the way the running backs is nowadays, you need them all because you're going to get banged up. Everybody's not going to be 100%. It's always games that they like to run 2 running backs out there, and now they got 6 of them to choose for.
And if all these guys have aspirations to play to the next level, it's good for them that maybe they won't.
Let's tread.
They won't have to give one guy
Exactly.
800 carries.
All right, guys, last game of the season against Georgia, we saw Ohio State really open up things against on offense at least, and really should have won that game. With that said, what do you think Ryan Day learned in that game about his players, about his offense, and will there be carryover this year?
Stop playing timid.
I asked him that
Oh, go ahead.
question. A light came on. You've got the best offensive players in the country, and they played giddy up, man, against Georgia. And you just get, from every conversation we've had with him since then, you just get the idea that's the way he wants to come out of the gate in 2023 is playing with that kind of approach. And he made the point that both of these quarterbacks can run. He wants that part of the attack from the get-go, not just something you got to run to from a desperate situation or finally turning to C.J. Stroud and saying, hey, carry the team, man. Do whatever it takes. And I'm talking about going to that Georgia game. He's got 2 guys who he thinks can run the ball, which is going to open up all kinds of things.
It's not just that Georgia game, though. There's another game in Ryan Day's tenure where he just let the reins loose.
2019 against
Clemson.
Yeah.
He just said, let's play football. And both times, you look what happened. It was the best Buckeye offense we've seen in the last 3-4 years. He's just got to do that every game. And the problem is, I think inherently in coaching, you're afraid of the mistake. And a lot of coaches, that's their job, is to be the one that thinks, okay, we don't want to make a mistake.
Yeah, I think you meant 2020. You're talking about
2020. Yeah, 2019 was with in
2019 was a good game.
It was good. But in 2020,
right?
they just let it fly. And I think inherently Ryan Day just needs to understand that mistakes are going to happen. You've got a young quarterback, but in the end, you're going to make a lot more highlight plays with these guys if you'll let them just play football.
Dave, over the years, we have seen some great offenses, and really under Ryan Day, it's just been a progression after progression. I mean, you saw Dwayne Haskins break all those records, and then here's Fields, and now C.J. Stroud, and it just keeps building. With that said, this team really looks loaded with talent. I mean, really looks loaded, and including a quarterback. Either one of those guys could start anywhere. Is this the best? Might we be seeing the best offense in Ohio State history this year? Should fans be excited because they're loaded? I mean, best running back room, best receiver room.
Whoa.
O-line and quarterback.
You don't think? I'm saying
Whoa.
total.
Whoa.
Total.
Whoa.
All right, go ahead.
You want to take this one?
I'm just saying.
On paper. I'm saying on paper.
I got a ring that says otherwise.
Whoa.
I didn't even realize he was going there.
Wow, okay, so
All
he's
right.
going to defend his guys.
Go Bucks.
I respect that.
No, I agree. They were great.
To me, when you have
Deepest.
all 3 healthy, Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson, Jackson Smith-Njigba, I think that might be better than what they have this year.
But they got more. They got Khalil Tate. They got Brandon Ennis. They got these guys coming on.
Deeper.
Paris Johnson, Luke Whippler, DeJuan Jones. That O-line was
Yeah, so I don't know if it's – I don't know. I mean, Marvin Harrison Jr. has the chance to be the best
receiver
the school's
might
ever
win
seen.
the Heisman.
Yeah,
he could.
he might be the best receiver we've ever seen at the school. Probably is, honestly, at the end of this year. So, yeah, I can see that. I mean, a lot of that's going to come down to how Kyle or Devin play, whoever wins that job. The potential's certainly there. For me, the biggest fear is always the offensive line in this team.
Yeah, that's the
replacing
big
several
deal.
starters. That, to me,
Does the offensive line come together like I think it will? Who's
That's-
going to be the starting right
Well,
tackle?
and that's what I wanted to ask next because they hit the transfer portal hard. They feel like they've got it solved, but you won't know until you actually get into battle. But they passed the look test just from what we've seen.
Well, I mean, they hit the portal for a reason because in the spring, for example, they maybe didn't get all the answers they wanted. So you go out and get Josh, call me Jimmy Simmons from San Diego State. And Victor Cutler, obviously from Louisiana Monroe, came earlier than that. But the point is, I think there's still a conundrum as we tape this. There's still a conundrum of who's going to be that starting right tackle, who's going to be the starting center. It looks like Carson Hinsman, and is Josh Fryer going to hold off a freshman by the name of Luke Montgomery for that starting left tackle job? That's the launch pad is always important. Just ask Elon Musk.
Do you think this is going back on the offensive line recruiting from Stud's days? I mean, I don't want to put Stud down, but do you feel like we're finally seeing the impact of that?
Yeah, but but this is what's funny when we were talking about big games they're facing. In an earlier segment, that Tom Allen has nothing to lose this year. He needs to win,
right.
And they are going to attack with every blitz, scam, whatever you want to call it, up front to test a new offensive line and a new starting quarterback. We're going to get a lot more answers than you think from that Indiana game.
I'm going to finish with you, Tyvis, because and I'm not saying this is the best. I'm saying on paper, and when you read the Proscott, they think these guys are great. Everything you see, Marvin Harrison. With that said, if there's one thing that concerns you with the offense, what is it?
Offensive line, easily. That's the easiest answer there could be, because the thing is, if you can't protect, then at the end of the day, there's nothing we can do. If we can't hold up to get Kyle McCord to be able to go through his reads and his progressions to find his open receivers, then it's not going to happen. If we can't open up holes for a great Travion Henderson, Mayan, and all 5, 10 other running backs that's in the backfield, it doesn't matter. So at the end of the day, it's offensive line. If they don't produce, then this season.
Yeah, this hitting 7 on 7.
And to me, the key is, like you said, the Georgia game where they came out aggressive. Urban Meyer, his record was good, obviously really good, but as an underdog, it was next level. And when we saw Ryan Day coach as an underdog, it was a different game. They need to have that mindset even when they're 20-point favorites.
Well, they're an underdog too.
In the conference.
If you look at the rankings, I mean, that's up on the wall.
Yep.
Okay, guys, great stuff. Keep it on 10 TV. 97.1 The Fan for all your Buckeye football needs.